babes, welcome back. We hope you've had an amazing day, babes. And babes, thank you for being here. Because let me tell you, I woke up this morning, I checked the blogs, and it was hot.
Oh, it was absolute inferno.
Right. Like, celebrities truly refuse to rest. And honestly, I am so grateful because this is the life I want.
You were vibrating at a frequency I didn't know was humanly possible when we met up. My phone was just like violently buzzing on the table before I even had a chance to open my eyes.
I couldn't help it. I woke up to 50 notifications.
50. I thought there was a regional grid failure or, a national emergency. But no, it was just you frantically refreshing 6 different gossip blogs before looking at a single work email.
Okay, let's unpack this because checking the blogs before work emails is a lifestyle choice. And I will defend it until the end of time.
A very chaotic lifestyle choice.
It is self-care. Celebrity drama is basically my personality trait now. It is my emotional support gossip.
Self-care.
Right.
Because raising your cortisol levels by reading about multimillionaires screaming at each other is the pinnacle of wellness.
It wakes me up better than an iced latte.
I prefer to call it what it actually is, which is rigorous, unpaid investigative journalism. We are doing the public a service.
Yes. We are investigative journalists of the Snark side. And to the Snark Squad listening right now, just so you know, we met up before work today.
Yeah.
And no, we absolutely do not get tired of seeing each other every single day.
Never.
We are obsessed with each other. And more importantly, we will not apologize for what we ordered for breakfast. Drum roll, babes.
Oh, here we go.
Shakshuka with feta and an ungodly amount of avocado on top.
Which, from a purely analytical and culinary perspective, is the only correct way to eat it.
It was a spiritual experience.
I've said it before. I will say it again. Avocado belongs on absolutely everything. No exceptions.
None. Picture this, you guys. We are sitting in this cozy little Mediterranean restaurant. The sunshine is just perfectly hitting the wooden table. I'm swirling my iced coffee, and they bring out this bubbling cast iron skillet.
It was dangerously hot.
It was perfect. Tomatoes, eggs, fresh herbs, and this incredibly creamy feta melting into the sauce. And the bread, the crunch of that fresh bread, it was almost too good.
It was very good bread, I'll give you that.
I emotionally declared it the best breakfast ever, right there in the middle of the restaurant. It somehow felt like a literal vacation before heading to work.
It was a vacation, mainly because you completely ignored the fact that you were supposed to be somewhere else entirely.
Yeah.
Let's not gloss over that.
Okay, fine. Babes, I have a confession. We are moving straight into the gossip today because I didn't make it to Pilates this morning. Again.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
I looked at the bubbling shakshuka, I looked at the time, and I made an executive choice.
The reformers are sitting in that studio right now, just patiently waiting for us. The springs are untouched.
They will be fine for one more day.
But breakfast somehow won the battle. We just sat there sipping our coffee, completely deluding ourselves into believing that tomorrow is definitely the day we become those highly disciplined wellness influencers.
Tomorrow is a new day, but today there is so much celebrity chaos waiting for us that we need to get right into it.
We really do.
So babes, grab your coffee, grab your breakfast, and let's spill some celebrity tea because we have to start with the biggest, messiest topic trending right now. But first, a very important legal disclaimer.
Yes, please, protect us.
Mentioning anything with the British royals means we have to explicitly state that all of this is allegedly, because apparently they are extremely sue-happy, and babes, we do not have the coin to pay for an international royal lawsuit.
Precisely. Everything we are about to analyze was whispered to us by the wind across the Atlantic.
Allegedly.
Thank you. So Beatrice and Eugenie, they just attended the wedding of their cousin Peter Phillips, and they were there alongside King Charles, Prince William, Kate. On paper, it looks like this big unified family front.
On paper, sure. But royal analysts are coming out of the woodwork to clarify that just because they secured a wedding invite, it does not mean they are remotely in the clear regarding the massive looming shadow of their father.
Prince Andrew. Exactly. And the entire Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Right. And here's where it gets really interesting. Because an insider came out today and said that Beatrice and Eugenie are literally petrified of being canceled.
Petrified is a strong word.
They're dealing with an, quote, indescribable amount of stress. And babes, I was reading the social media comments under the paparazzi photos of them at this wedding, and the public is vicious.
Oh, the British tabloids and comment sections take no prisoners.
They were commenting things like, surprised they turned up. They should have stayed at home. The internet is essentially demanding they go into permanent hiding.
Wow.
But I have to push back here. Is it really fair to cancel the daughters for the father's massive alleged sins? Aren't they just trying to go to a family wedding? Like, why should they have to vacate their lives and hide inside just because their dad is a literal PR nightmare?
To understand why the public is reacting this way, you have to look past the family dynamic and look at the real estate economics.
Really, real estate.
Yes. It's not just about them going to a cousin's wedding. It's about how they are actively subsidized by the British taxpayer. The UK Parliament is currently investigating Crown Estate rental agreements.
Wow.
Beatrice and Eugenie live in what are historically known as grace and favor properties at St. James's Palace and Kensington Palace.
Okay, wait. Can you explain what a grace and favor property actually is? Because it sounds like something out of, like, a medieval fantasy novel.
It essentially is.
Uh,
Historically, it's a residential property owned by the monarch and leased rent-free or at a massive discount to individuals as part of an employment package.
like a perk of the job.
Right. Today, we call these peppercorn rent arrangements, meaning the rent is so low it's practically symbolic, like paying a single peppercorn.
Oh my God. I wish my landlord accepted peppercorns.
We all do.
Yeah.
But the problem is that Beatrice and Eugenie are non-working royals. They hold private jobs. They do not carry out official duties on behalf of the crown.
Right. They aren't cutting ribbons.
Yes, exactly. So the public expectation in the UK, especially during a historic cost of living crisis, is that if you aren't a working royal contributing to the state, you need to pay market rate rent.
Oh, I see.
When your father is practically a pariah who cost the family millions in legal settlements, the public tolerance for your subsidized luxury housing drops to absolute zero.
Okay, when you put it in terms of subsidized luxury housing during an economic crisis, the outrage makes total sense. It's not just, we hate your dad, it's, we are paying for your heating bills while we can't afford our own.
Precisely.
I feel bad for their anxiety, but you can't have your cake and eat it too in a taxpayer-funded palace.
When you are part of that family, your personal life and the institution's financial reputation are inextricably linked. Being a non-working royal means the public expects you to pay real rent.
Which brings us to the ultimate royal liability and the absolute frozen tundra that is Prince Harry and Prince William's relationship. Babes, the blogs are reporting today that Harry is blaming William entirely for the royal rift. He genuinely suspects William is on a calculated mission to turn the entire family against him. But the detail that actually made me gasp, Harry doesn't even have William's phone number.
I mean, the irony of Harry's stance here is just staggering when you break down the timeline of events.
It's so sad, though.
Is it? Harry writes an entire, highly lucrative memoir, Spare. In that book, he actively paints Kate Middleton as cold. He airs out incredibly private, damaging family grievances.
Okay, true.
And now he's reportedly baffled as to why William is setting this fearless moral agenda to completely ice him out. Harry views it as an aggressive campaign, but from William's perspective, it's just basic containment protocol.
But the psychology of it. The insider said Harry is just waiting by the phone for a call that will never come. He secretly hoped that William would struggle without him.
He thought the monarchy would collapse without him.
Yeah. He thought the workload would be too much, and William would desperately need him to come back. He is literally sitting in a multi-million-dollar mansion in Montecito, manifesting a text message from a brother who changed his number.
Well, I just got a buzz on my phone, and I can tell you that's definitely not Prince William texting.
Stop.
William's strategy here is absolute, unbreakable silence. I call it the PR vacuum chamber.
The PR vacuum chamber?
Yes. When you are dealing with a leak, and Harry's has proven himself to be a massive informational leak, you don't engage. If William texts him, that text could end up in a paperback sequel.
Oh, 100%.
If William calls him, that call could be discussed on a morning talk show. When you create a complete vacuum of communication, the other person usually keeps talking to fill the empty space, eventually exhausting their own narrative.
Wow. That makes so much sense. It's not just being petty, it's a defensive strategy to starve the opponent of material.
Historically, silence is the most effective weapon the royals have ever wielded. William is looking at the monarchy's future.
Which makes me wonder how this generational trauma is going to impact their kids, because Meghan Markle just posted the sweetest photos for Princess Lilibet's 5th birthday.
Right.
She called her our dream girl. But of course, the photos are completely face hidden. It's Harry holding her, Meghan leaning on his shoulder, and Lilibet's hair is completely covering her face.
Highly curated.
Very aesthetic, highly curated, and incredibly protected.
It is the ultimate manifestation of image control. When you look at the deep, lingering trauma Harry associates with the press, specifically regarding Princess Diana, It makes logical sense that they are fiercely guarding Lilibet's visual identity.
They are controlling the narrative in a way Diana never had the agency to do.
Exactly.
And speaking of Diana's lack of agency, there is a wild new historical crossover trending today that blew my mind. A new biography just came out revealing that John F. Kennedy Jr. actually held a secret meeting with Princess Diana at the Carlisle Hotel in 1995.
From a media history perspective, the sheer magnitude of that star power in one room is almost incomprehensible today.
He was pitching her to be on the cover of his magazine, George.
The paparazzi infrastructure in 1995 would have completely collapsed if they had known they were both in the Carlisle.
And his pitch to her was so visually unhinged, he wanted her wearing a Revolutionary War-style hat.
A Revolutionary War hat.
Yes. Or his alternate idea was to photograph her sitting in the back of a limousine, actively trying to avoid photographers.
Wow.
I am swooning over that aesthetic. Can you imagine the alternate timeline where Diana said yes to that? Diana in a limo, weaponizing her own harassment for a magazine cover directed by JFK Jr.
It would have been a fascinating reclamation of power. It's essentially what Kayla Nicole is doing today, which we'll get to, but on a massive pre-internet scale.
Exactly. It would have completely broken the 1990s pop culture landscape. She reportedly told him she wasn't ready yet, but maybe for the 50th issue, which is just devastating to think about.
What's deeply analytical about that meeting is that Diana actually admired how JFK Jr. handled his constant public scrutiny. She hoped William would develop that exact same poise.
Okay, from the historical burden of royal fame, we are naturally going to pivot to the absolute logistical circus of modern pop star nuptials.
Oh boy.
Because the internet is completely spiraling today over Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Please tell me we are going to use basic logic to destroy this Madison Square Garden wedding rumor.
We are, but we have to lay out the rumor first. So the blogs are swearing that Taylor and Travis are planning a massive blowout wedding at MSG with 1,100 fans in attendance.
Which is just logically absurd.
But wait, now Taylor's inner circle is leaking to the press that this entire MSG plan is actually a highly orchestrated decoy.
Of course it is.
The theory is that the guests will be instructed to meet at MSG, and then they will be funneled onto a fleet of blacked-out buses and driven to a completely secret location for the actual ceremony.
It is so obviously a decoy that the decoy itself might be a decoy. Let's look at this logistically.
Please do.
MSG is a venue designed for mass production. It is where you load in pyrotechnics and sell $70 t-shirts. It feels entirely like a Kardashian-era reality television finale, not a Taylor Swift milestone.
But I want you to explain the logistics of the decoy theory to me, because my brain is melting just thinking about putting 1,100 A-list celebrities on blacked-out buses in Manhattan traffic.
It would be a nightmare.
Do you know how long it takes to get across town on a Tuesday afternoon? Imagine trying to bust the entire music industry out of Midtown in secret. Someone is going to get motion sickness. Someone's publicist is going to demand a bathroom break on the side of the FDR Drive.
Which is exactly why it is a brilliant decoy leak.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
You leak a plan so logistically absurd, so undeniably chaotic, that the paparazzi focus all their resources on trying to map out bus routes from 8th Avenue.
Oh my God, they keep them distracted.
Exactly. You keep them distracted by the impossibility of the logistics while you quietly fly to a secluded island or a secured private estate in Rhode Island to actually get married. It's a misdirection play straight out of an NFL playbook.
Okay, but I have to push back. Taylor is a certified mastermind. What if she knows that we know the bus theory is absurd?
Doing this.
What if the decoy is the decoy and she actually just gets married at center court in MSG wearing a vintage Knicks jersey while Jason Kelce officiates with his shirt off? We cannot rule out a double bluff.
I will confidently rule out the double bluff. She's a mastermind of music publishing, not a monster truck rally promoter.
Fine. But speaking of the Kelce universe and impeccable timing, we need to analyze Kayla Nicole.
Now, this is a textbook PR move.
Yes. Babes, Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend woke up, saw the Taylor wedding rumors trending globally, and said, "Hold my iced coffee."
She certainly did.
She posted a video of herself in this sheer, completely backless, jaded London cutout maxi dress, and the caption, "Sometimes you gotta show a Mac you a MF2."
I have to applaud the algorithmic strategy here. From a purely analytical perspective, the timing is flawless.
She knew exactly what she was doing.
She knows the internet is aggressively indexing the search term Travis Kelce. So right as the search volume peaks, she drops a high-production thirst trap. She is successfully hijacking a trending algorithm to redirect traffic to her own brand.
And I'm completely here for this level of pettiness. It is so visually dangerous. The high braided ponytail, the flawless winged eyeliner. She didn't type a single word about Travis or Taylor.
She didn't need to.
She just served face and body. It is the ultimate modern revenge dress energy, like Princess Diana's black off-the-shoulder dress. Kayla Nicole has the jaded London cutout maxi.
It speaks volumes without offering a single usable quote for the tabloids to twist.
True. And while we are on the topic of pop stars, weddings, and the audacity of wealth, let's break down Dua Lipa's $6,000 Sicilian apology.
The absolute chaos of this story.
I cannot even wrap my head around it. So Dua Lipa and Callum Turner tied the knot, and they threw this massive reception bash in Palermo, Sicily. And they legally sealed off Piazza Santa Anna. They just locked down historic town squares.
Just completely disrupted the daily lives of the residents?
The locals were furious. They were printing out posters saying Palermo is not for rent. So to smooth things over, Dua reportedly paid a grand total of $6,000 as a peace offering for the parking inconveniences.
$6,000, divided among an entire historic neighborhood of angry, displaced Sicilian residents.
I am literally taking a sip of this iced coffee right now because my mouth is dry from that audacity. $6,000 total. That is pocket change for the Dance the Night singer.
That's mathematically insulting.
And that's what, maybe $20 a person? Sorry we trapped you in your third-floor apartment all weekend. Here's enough money to buy exactly 2 Aperol spritzes. Babes, I am dragging that figure.
What is truly absurd here is the audacity of the non-disclosure agreements. According to reports, they were actively trying to make local Italians sign NDAs just so the celebrities could party.
Wait, how does that even work legally? Can you force a random citizen to sign a legal document in their own home?
You can't, which is why it's an intimidation tactic. Imagine you live in an apartment overlooking the piazza. You step out onto your balcony in your pajamas, and some private security guard tries to pressure you into signing a legally intimidating document so that Charlie XCX and Shakira can drink champagne below you.
The visual juxtaposition of that is hilarious and dystopian. You can't just buy a whole town's silence with $6,000. The locals are always going to win the culture war.
Which brings us perfectly to our next segment.
Yeah.
Because Dua Lipa taking over a town square and trying to buy off the populist anger is basically a political campaign.
Oh my God, you're right.
And that leads us right into actual politics, crossing over with Bravo-level reality television.
Okay, critical rule enforcement time. Snark Squad, listen to me carefully. We are here for the mess, but we must explicitly remind everyone right now, we take absolute no sides politically on this show. Zero.
None.
We are merely reporting the chaos of the blogs impartially. We're Switzerland with iced lattes. We do not endorse any of the political platforms we are about to discuss.
Exactly. We are looking at this purely through the analytical lens of pop culture absurdity. And nothing highlights that crossover more absurdly than Spencer Pratt.
Spencer Pratt?
Yes, from MTV's The Hills, running a legitimate campaign for mayor of Los Angeles.
I am still fundamentally mind-blown by this. I had to read the headline 3 separate times. Spencer Pratt, the man with the healing crystals, was running an aggressive populist campaign whining about wildfire preparedness.
And he surged into second place at one point.
How on earth did we get to a point where the villain of 2000s reality television is discussing municipal tax codes?
Well, if we break down the actual mechanics of populism, it makes perfect terrifying sense.
Yeah.
How do you view populism in this context?
To me, it's basically when someone wealthy or famous stands on a stage and says, the system is rigged by the elites, and only I, a fellow elite who is somehow also a regular guy, can fix it for you.
That's a highly accurate summary. And reality television is the ultimate training ground for that specific brand of populism.
Because of the editing.
Exactly. Reality TV trains you to speak in hyper-condensed emotional sound bites. Spencer positioned himself as the ultimate anti-establishment outsider. He used his background to completely dominate the local media cycle, while traditional politicians were trying to talk about zoning laws.
Wow. But ultimately, he fell to third place behind Karen Bass and Nithya Raman.
Which is exactly when the story goes from weird to absolute Twilight Zone.
Yes. Because former President Donald Trump took to Truth Social to defend Spencer Pratt. He posted that it was a rigged election, specifically because Pratt lost his lead, calling it a third world nation.
And Jimmy Kimmel mocked the entire campaign on late-night television, saying that voting for Spencer Pratt is like putting a rattlesnake in a sinking canoe.
A rattlesnake in a sinking canoe.
Again, looking at this strictly impartially, Trump naturally gravitated toward a fellow reality star turned politician who was crying foul on the electoral process. Both men understand that grievance is a highly engaging emotion for an audience.
The simulation is actively glitching. And speaking of political figures blending seamlessly into the influencer space, Kai Trump's fashion grind.
The 19-year-old daughter of Donald Trump Jr.
Yes. So she posts a photo on social media. She is wearing a charcoal gray ribbed tank top and a standard denim skirt. And she captions it, "Been on my fashion grind."
Okay.
And babes, the internet fashion critics were absolutely ruthless. They were commenting, "Fashion grind where? Did the grind stop at the Gap clearance rack?"
I mean, objectively speaking, stripping away any political context, it is a very standard utilitarian outfit.
It's a laundry day outfit. That is exactly what you wear when you have run out of every single good piece of clothing in your closet and you need to make an emergency run to Target. It is not a fashion grind.
It's not editorial, no.
But it gets messier because her new brand, KT, is charging $130 for these underwhelming basics. And the Swifties are coming for her because her logo allegedly looks like a copy of Travis Kelce's True Colors brand logo.
The cross-pollination of pop music fandoms and political dynasties is staggering. We have Taylor Swift fans actively analyzing the trademark logos of political families.
Why do political figures' kids always try to start streetwear brands? Is it some sort of rite of passage?
It's a very transparent attempt to monetize their proximity to power. Plus, impartially breaking down the optics here, she has been heavily criticized for filming promotional videos for this streetwear brand on the White House South Lawn.
Wait, can you even do that?
Technically, yes. The White House clarified there is no specific legal prohibition against taking pictures there for personal brands, as long as it doesn't imply official government endorsement. But optically, it's bizarre.
Bizarre is the word. Well, speaking of highly questionable family dynamics, let's pivot away from politics and head straight into some serious New York drama. Mob moms and incredibly messy exes.
Oh, this next story reads like a rejected, highly melodramatic script from The Sopranos.
It is terrifyingly authentic mob mom behavior. We're talking about Victoria Gotti, daughter of the late mob boss John Gotti. She allegedly blasted her son, Carmine's girlfriend, Ariana, calling her a rat to the press.
Oh, rat!
Yes, because Ariana called the police, alleging that Carmine choked, punched, and kicked her during an altercation.
Let's methodically unpack the sheer chaos of this timeline. The physical altercation allegedly started over intense cheating paranoia, and in the process, Carmine supposedly physically throws Ariana's phone to the ground.
And he shatters an iPhone 17 Pro Max, a $2,000 device, absolutely destroyed.
Which brings us to the next day. Ariana calls the cops back to try and drop the charges. She says he's here right now, we made up.
So messy.
Carmine gets officially charged with third-degree assault anyway. But here's where the timeline elevates. Carmine isn't just dealing with these assault charges. He had previously pled guilty to lying to the federal government to obtain COVID relief funds.
Oh my God, the COVID fraud.
$1 million in illegal banking fraud. He was formally scheduled to surrender by June 12 for a 15-month prison sentence.
Wait for it, babes, because the twist is actually insane. Victoria Gotti was actively begging the federal judge to keep her son out of prison so that he could donate a kidney to her.
So let's synthesize this. You have a pending 15-month federal sentence, an impending kidney transplant for a mob heiress, a destroyed $2,000 iPhone, dropped charges, and a mother reverting to old-school mafia terminology by calling an alleged victim a rat.
The layers of generational dysfunction are staggering. It's way too dark. We need to lighten this up with a different kind of messy ex situation that doesn't involve federal fraud. Let's check in on Elsie Hewitt.
Pete Davidson's ex.
Right. She is currently navigating her single mom era on TikTok, and I empathize with her so heavily right now.
Do you?
Yes. She's logging her struggles as a single mom to their 5-month-old daughter, Scotty Rose. She's talking about the full mental load, getting zero sleep, changing dirty diapers in the middle of the night.
Right. Highly relatable content.
She said she finally managed to squeeze in one single Pilates session, and her dinner plans got completely ruined by the scheduling conflict. Babes, a missed Pilates session when you are running on 2 hours of sleep. I felt her exhaustion in my soul.
It is strategically painting a very specific picture of intense financial and emotional struggle. But let's look at the counter-narrative, because this is where the PR mechanics become visible.
Okay, break it down.
The absolute second Davis, Elsie posts a video about struggling financially. Pete Davidson's camp instantly leaks the story to the major tabloids, and the leak explicitly states that Pete is already paying for all childcare expenses, and oh, by the way, he gave her the deed to an entire New York City apartment.
An entire NYC apartment. Do you have any idea what the rent is on a family-sized apartment in New York right now?
Millions of dollars in real estate.
So Pete's team just completely blew up her TikTok narrative.
Exactly. Pete's crisis management team neutralized the public sympathy threat immediately by weaponizing financial facts. We have to remember, Elsie had a documented history with high-profile legal battles. Her 2017 civil lawsuit against Ryan Phillip.
Right.
The PR teams on both sides know exactly what game is being played. It is a calculated battle for public sympathy.
It's exhausting just reading about the strategy behind it, which makes perfect sense as to why so many Hollywood stars are just desperately trying to set hard boundaries right now.
The active boundary setting is becoming a dominant industry trend.
Like Sophie Turner's recent revelations, the Queen in the North confessed to having a massive mini breakdown ahead of turning 30.
A pre-30 breakdown.
She said she and her friends are just so incredibly happy to be out of the absolute mess of their 20s. And babes, I violently agree with Sophie on this. The 20s are an absolute scam.
A scam.
Yes, you think you're going to be living this fabulous Sex in the City life with endless brunches, and instead you're just crying in the back of an Uber trying to figure out why your dating life is a disaster?
A very accurate, if depressing, metaphor. But what's analytically interesting is how she processed that chaos. She talked about using her acting craft, specifically a new project called Trust, as a direct form of psychological catharsis to process her divorce from Joe Jonas.
Oh, she was absolutely channeling that specific Jonas baggage directly into the camera lens, and I love this entire rebrand for her. She dropped the drama, and now she is stepping fully into her Tomb Raider Lara Croft era.
It is the ultimate 30s power move.
It really is. And speaking of career pivots driven entirely by family priorities, Matt Damon. He just gave an incredibly candid interview to GQ talking about his existential dad era.
This is fascinating to me.
He said he's terrified of the phone not ringing. Matt Damon, the man who wrote and starred in Good Will Hunting.
You have a verified Oscar winner, the star of The Martian and the Bourne franchise. And yet, the imposter syndrome never fully leaves. The deeply ingrained fear that Hollywood is just going to stop calling.
But the beautiful thing is that he is actively choosing to step back anyway. He wants to be present for his 4 daughters because they were growing up too fast. He's actively choosing the mundane reality of family over the relentless Hollywood grind.
He's recognizing that time is the only currency that actually matters at his level of wealth.
Okay, while Matt Damon is politely stepping back, Idris Elba is actively burning down fan-casting dreams with a flamethrower.
Oh, the James Bond comments.
Babes, Idris just brutally shut down the James Bond rumors. He said that the international markets won't accept a black 007. His exact quote was, "That's not what they like in their culture."
A very blunt assessment of the global box office.
He said Hollywood shouldn't try to make it woke. I am absolutely stunned. He just said the quiet part out loud about global box office racism.
Because Idris deeply understands the studio economics at play. When a major studio budgets a $300 million Bond film, they are meticulously calculating projected returns from territories all over the world. Idris is looking at the international revenue spreadsheets. He knows that becoming the first black Bond would instantly saddle him with an exhausting global culture war that he has absolutely no interest in fighting.
But hasn't the Bond character constantly evolved? Daniel Craig gave us a gritty, emotional Bond. Why can't we have a black Bond?
It's a fair moral question, but a brutal economic reality. An evolution in tone is a much easier sell to a traditional global market than a change in the fundamental racial identity of a 60-year-old British icon.
Wow. He refuses to be the sacrificial test case for his studio's diversity experiment. I respect the boundary. Okay, from British spies setting boundaries to Monaco playboys leaning into the PR machine, Kim Kardashian and Lewis Hamilton.
The brand synergy happening here is undeniable.
Babes, Kim showed up at the Monaco Grand Prix this weekend specifically to support Lewis, and Lewis was gushing about her to the press, saying she brings such good energy. And then he just scored a P2 finish for Ferrari.
The P2 finish means he took second place on the podium. Let's look at Lewis's narrative. He had a horrendous slump last year. He desperately needs to reignite his personal brand, and suddenly he has the most famous woman in the world in his team's garage.
I am fully shipping them. Babes, imagine the aesthetic. Kim wearing vintage Gucci racing jackets. Lewis looking flawlessly cool in Ferrari red. The power couple dynamics would be off the charts.
It is absolute top-tier PR for both of their respective camps. Kim gets to associate with European luxury sports, distancing herself from reality TV muck. Lewis gets the blinding heat of the Kardashian media spotlight.
Well, someone who definitely doesn't care about playing the polished Hollywood media game is Knox Jolie-Pitt.
Chaotic neutral energy at its finest.
Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's 17-year-old son, Knox, just gave his high school graduation speech. You'd expect something poised, right? Absolutely not. He gets up, drops multiple F-bombs, and uses his commencement speech to cut a wrestling promo for his amateur Muay Thai fight.
A completely unhinged pivot from traditional graduation platitudes directly into a combat sports hype promo.
He literally said, "Tonight, I'm going to be fighting at Total Sonic Knockout 5. I'm going to knock him the F out." And the craziest part, he actually went to the arena that night and won the fight.
While Brad Pitt was photographed, looking entirely unbothered in France with his new girlfriend.
I am obsessed with Knox. It is giving massive Fight Club Nepo baby energy. He looked at the polished Hollywood acting path and said, "No thanks, I'm just going to legally punch people in the face."
They are completely rejecting the curated celebrity child archetype.
Okay, babes, we have to transition because we actually have to go to our real corporate job soon. But it is time for the grab bag.
The weirdest headlines of the morning.
Yes, and this first one sounds like a Mad Lib. Country music star Brad Paisley has teamed up with environmental activist Aaron Brockovich.
The actual Aaron Brockovich.
Yes. They are fighting to stop a massive 69,000 square foot AI data center from being built just 50 yards away from the leopard exhibits at the Nashville Zoo.
I genuinely want to know the thought process of the zoning board here. Who thought it was a brilliant urban planning idea to build a massive, extreme heat-generating server farm right next to apex predators?
I am emotionally distraught for the leopards. Who wants to listen to giant industrial server fans worrying all day while you're just trying to take a cat nap? Brad Paisley called it an enormous monstrosity.
I am sarcastically marveling at the bingo card of 2026. Brad Paisley and Julia Roberts' real-life counterpart fighting artificial intelligence to save zoo animals. The world is getting too weird.
Save the leopards, Brad.
Huh?
Okay, our final grab bag story is a beautiful palate cleanser. Daniel Radcliffe ran into John Lithgow at the Tony Awards this weekend.
John Lithgow, who is officially set to play the new Albus Dumbledore in the HBO Harry Potter series reboot.
Yes, and Daniel said they had the absolute sweetest interaction. John was giving him wholesome behind-the-scenes updates about how fond he is of the new young cast members, and Daniel's just cheering them on from afar.
It is incredibly wholesome. A rare instance of a former child star passing the torch without any lingering bitterness or desperate attempts to cling to the franchise.
It really is. Babes, we have unpacked so much today. From royal real estate anxiety to blacked-out wedding buses. We need to hear from the Snark Squad. Jump into the comments right now and answer these mandated questions. What is your absolute dream breakfast order?
Crucial data.
Number 2, if you had to choose this morning, are you choosing a grueling Pilates class or are you choosing a bubbling skillet of shakshuka with us? And number 3, which specific celebrity story had you frantically refreshing the blogs all morning?
Thank you all for hanging out with us in the chaos today. Make sure to like the video, comment your answers, subscribe, and share this episode with another snarker.
We love you. Stay caffeinated, stay nosy, and we'll see you on the Snark side.